We have an equation with 3 terms equals 0. It's kind of trinomial, but the exponents are rational numbers. We know how to solve a quadratic equation degree 2, but this is different. But 1/4 and 1/2 and 1/4, what is the relationship between these two numbers? We have x raised to 1/2. Let me put over here. X raised to 1/2 is it a square of something? Let me see. We have x to the 1/4. Is it a square of x raised to 1/4? When we square x raised to 1/4 is square, okay, square means we need to multiply outside and inside exponents. 2 times 1/4, basically 2/4. 2/4 is same as 1/2. Yes, x raised to 1/2 is in fact square of x raised to 1/4, because 1/4 square is 2/4, which is 1/2. So we can rewrite this equation as follows: 2x raised to 1/4 square minus 5 times x raised to 1/4 minus 3 equals 0. How does this help? Now we can assume x raised to 1/4, because we have same thing in two places as new variable. Let y be x raised to 1/4. Then this equation now becomes 2, this is y square minus 5y minus 3 equals 0, which is a quadratic equation, and we know how to solve this, right? We try to factor. If it factors, good. If it does not, we need to go for quadratic formula. Is anything common in all three terms? No. Let's factor. 2y square, 2, the only way to factors is 2 times 1. You don't have to write 1. Y square is y. So 2y square is just 2y times y. And 3, the only way 3 factors is 1 times 3, or it could be 3 times 1. I don't know, let's say 3 times 1. Okay, I might be wrong, then we have to correct 1 times 3. And to get negative 3, one of them should be negative and other should be positive. Negative 3, positive 1. Okay, we don't have to worry about first and last terms, because 2y times y, 2y squared. Negative 3 times 1, negative 3. Okay, and this middle term is coming from multiplying these two and these two. 2y times 1, 2y. Negative 3 times y, negative 3y. 2y minus 3y, negative y. But we have negative 5y. So this factoring is not good. Okay, we have to change. In any case, 2y and y, they will be the same. Okay, now 3, we wrote 3 and 1. Let's do 1 and 3, and there's a negative. So to get negative, one of them is negative, positive. So I'm going to put negative here. So negative to the bigger, positive 1. Let's try. 1 times 3, negative 3. We don't have to worry about last terms again. So for the middle term, that comes from multiplying these two pairs. 2y times negative 3, negative 6y. 1 times y, positive 1y. That gives negative 5y. Yes, we do have that. So this is correct factoring. Then we get product of two things equals 0. That means either 2y plus 1 equals 0, or y minus 3 equals 0. 2y plus 1 equals 0, or y minus 3 equals 0. Subtract 1 and divide by 2. So y equals subtract 1 divided by 2. Y equals negative 1/2, or add 3. So y equals 3. So we have y values, but this is not the answer, because y is x raised to 1/4. Okay, if you are having trouble factoring this trinomial, okay, for this I have an alternative method to get y values. It will be longer but might be easier. Let's start with 2y squared minus 5y minus 3 equals 0. Since the leading coefficient is not 1, we were having trouble factoring, but 2 goes 6, 3, multiply 2 times 3, 6, and rewrite equivalent equation y squared minus 5y minus 6 equals 0. Now its leading coefficient is 1, so this is easy to factor. Y squared, y times y, 6, 2 times 3, 6, 6 is 6 times 1 is 6, to get 5, 6 times 1, 6 and 1 make 5, negative 5, negative 6 plus 1. Now we multiplied by 2. Now we need to divide by 2. Just divide by 2 to the numbers, and we get y minus 6 divided by 3, 6 divided by 2 is 3, y minus 3, y plus 1/2 equals 0. Now we can solve for y. Product of two things equals 0 implies either y minus 3 0. So from this factor y is 3, and from this factor y plus 1/2 becomes 0 when y is negative 1/2. So 3 and negative 1/2. That's what we have here. Okay, y equals 3 or y equals negative 1/2. In any case, once we have y values, that's not the answer, because the question is in terms of x. Now we need to back substitute the value of y. Y is in fact x raised to 1/4. Okay, then y is x raised to 1/4 equals negative 1/2, or y is x raised to 1/4 equals 3. So it's a fourth, but we have to find x raised to 1 or x. So how do we get rid of this fourth exponent? Okay, if we raise to power fourth, then 1/4 times 4, 4 cancel, multiply means 4 on the top, 4 cancel, x raised to 1 just x. So we need to raise fourth power. Whatever we do in the left side, we have to do the same thing collectively in the right side. 1/4, get rid of 1/4, raising 4 power. Okay, 4 cancel, so x equals, now multiply negative 1/2 4 times, negative 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 4 times, positive, don't have to write, 1/4 times 1, 2/4 time 2 2 2 2 4 times, so 16, or 1/4 and 4 cancel, so x 3 raised to 4, 3 3 3 3 4 times, multiply 4 times. Thus we got x values. Before we declare them as solutions, we need to check if they work. Okay, we want to plug these into the original equation. So let me write the original equation, which was 2x to the 1/2 minus 5x raised to 1/4 minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so let's plug in 81. This is easier. So 81 x equals 81, 2 times 81 raised to 1/2. 1/2 means square root. 81, square root of 81 is 9, so 2 times 9, 18. You can check in your calculator. Minus 5 times 81 raised to 1/4, that will be 3. Use your calculator. 15 minus 3 equals 0. Is this true? Yes. So x equals 81 is a solution. How about x equals 1/16? 2 times 1/16 raised to 1/2. 1/16, square root of 1/16 is 1/4, so 2/4, which is 1/2, minus 5 times 16, 1/16 raised to 1/4, that's 1/2, so 5 halves, minus 3. Is this equal to 0? No, there is a lot of negative, so no. So x equals 1/16. This is not a solution. Okay, so x equals 81 is the only solution.